Awakening. The moment you see the truth when you become entangled with a narcissist, you have only two paths. You either remain trapped in their illusion or you wake up to reality. But here's what most people don't realize. Waking up is just the beginning. The real battle starts when you begin to see them for who they truly are. When you start recognizing the lies, the manipulation, the gaslighting, and the psychological warfare they use to control you, you become something terrifying to them. A person they can no longer control. Because for a narcissist, control is everything. As long as you remain unaware, as long as you play by their rules, they feel powerful. They dictate your emotions, shape your reality, and ensure that you exist to serve their needs. But the moment you start seeing through the illusion, you become dangerous. And that's when the real games begin. Why narcissists fear losing control over you. A narcissist doesn't see relationships the way normal people do. To them, relationships are not about love, respect, or mutual growth. They are about dominance, extraction, and survival. They don't connect with others through empathy or understanding. Instead, they use manipulation, guilt, and fear to keep people under their influence. So when they sense you pulling away, when they realize they no longer have a tight grip on your mind, they panic. And make no mistake, their panic doesn't come in the form of sadness or regret. They don't sit down and reflect on their mistakes. They don't wonder what they could have done better. They don't feel the loss the way you do. Instead, they go into damage control mode. They see your awakening as a threat to their very existence, and they will do whatever it takes to pull you back into their web of control. The desperate measures of a narcissist never let go easily. They will not sit back and accept that you are moving on, healing, and reclaiming your power. That would mean defeat. That would mean admitting that they were never as powerful as they believed, and their ego cannot handle that. So when they feel you slipping away, they react, not with love, not with self-reflection, but with tactics. They become master strategists, deploying a series of manipulative moves designed to break your confidence. They want to make you doubt your decision to leave. Trigger your emotions. They know exactly what to say to make you feel guilty or nostalgic. Regain control. Whether through kindness, cruelty, or confusion, their end goal is always the same: to keep you trapped in their cycle. Some of these tactics may seem subtle, others may feel like psychological warfare, but all of them have one purpose: to make sure you never truly escape. Are you ready to face the truth? If you've made it this far, it means you are already waking up. You are already beginning to see the narcissist for who they truly are. And that means you are already on the path to freedom. But awareness alone is not enough. Because once you start breaking free, they will fight to pull you back. They will test your boundaries. They will exploit your emotions. They will use every manipulative trick in the book to make you second-guess yourself. And if you're not prepared, you might find yourself slipping back into their control. That's why today, we are going to expose 5 of the most insidious tactics narcissists use when they realize they are losing control over you. We're not just going to name them. We're going to break them down, analyze how they work, and most importantly, teach you exactly how to counter them. Because knowledge is power. And when it comes to dealing with a narcissist, your best weapon is understanding. This video could change everything if you've ever felt trapped in a toxic relationship. If you've ever struggled to break free from a narcissist's grip, this information is going to be life-changing. Because once you see the manipulation for what it really is, it loses its power over you. Once you understand why they do what they do, their tactics become predictable, and predictability means control. And the one thing a narcissist cannot stand is a person who refuses to be controlled. Your next step: protect yourself. Before we dive into these 5 tactics, take a moment to do something for yourself. Hit the like button if this message resonates with you. Subscribe to Stoic Wisdom if you want more insights on navigating life with wisdom, strength, and clarity. And turn on the notification bell so you never miss content that can help you take back your power. Because this is more than just a video. This is about breaking free. This is about reclaiming your peace. This is about making sure that a narcissist never has control over you again. Are you ready? Let's begin. 1. They disappear suddenly, but not because they've forgotten you. Have you ever experienced a narcissist completely ignoring you out of nowhere? One day they are everywhere, texting, calling, demanding your attention. The next day, they vanish as if they never existed. No warning, no explanation, just silence. And in that silence, your mind starts racing. Did I do something wrong? Why aren't they responding? Did I say something to upset them? You scroll through your messages, replay conversations in your head, and try to find a reason, some logical explanation for why they have gone completely silent. But here's the truth: their silence is not random. It is not because they are busy. It is not because they are giving you space. This is not an accident. This is a calculated, deliberate strategy of emotional manipulation. Because narcissists don't walk away like normal people do. They don't leave relationships with honesty, closure, or self-reflection. Instead, they use silence as a weapon, a psychological tactic designed to regain control over you. Why do narcissists suddenly go silent? A narcissist doesn't disappear because they are strong. They disappear because they are weak. Their silence is not an act of emotional maturity. It is not a reflection of confidence or independence. It is a tactic rooted in fear and insecurity. So why do they do it? Two main reasons: to reinforce their sense of power when a narcissist feels like they are losing control over you. They need to remind themselves that they are still in charge. By suddenly cutting you off, they create an illusion of superiority. They want you to believe that they are completely unaffected by your absence. They want you to think, wow, they don't even care that we're not talking. Maybe I meant nothing to them. Maybe I need to reach out and fix this. And that's exactly what they want. Their goal is to plant a seed of doubt in your mind, to make you believe that they are the ones in control, not you. They want you to feel like you are the one who has lost something valuable, while they remain indifferent and unbothered. But here's what they don't want you to know. Their silence is a mask. It is an illusion, a carefully crafted game where they pretend not to care, all while secretly hoping that you are suffering without them. Because deep down, they are not indifferent. They are waiting for you to break first, waiting for you to chase them, apologize, and beg for their attention. That is how they reclaim their power. To manipulate your emotions, a narcissist understands that abandonment is one of the deepest human fears. They know that being ignored triggers anxiety, self-doubt, and emotional distress. They count on your mind filling in the blanks, on you questioning your worth, doubting your decisions, and feeling desperate to fix whatever went wrong. Because when you start feeling anxious, they know you are more likely to give them exactly what they want. More attention, more emotional energy, more willingness to overlook their toxic behavior. By disappearing, they create a void in your life, a void that only they can fill. And when you reach out to them first, they win. They have reestablished their dominance. Their silence was never about needing space or moving on. It was about watching you squirm, waiting for the moment you break, and ensuring that they still have power over your emotions. Breaking free from the trap of their silence. When a narcissist goes silent, you have two choices. You can panic, chase after them, and unknowingly hand your power back to them. Or you can stand firm, recognize their silence for what it really is, and refuse to play their game. Because their silence is not a punishment, it is a test. A test to see if you are still under their control. A test to see if they can make you doubt yourself. A test to see if you will come running back, desperate for their validation. But the truth is, you don't need their validation. Their silence is not a reflection of your worth. It is a reflection of their inability to handle losing control over you. And when you choose not to react, when you refuse to chase them, when you let their silence be met with silence, that is when you take your power back. 2. They suddenly become perfect, but it's just a trap. Have you ever received a message from a narcissist after walking away? Out of nowhere, they reappear, sweeter than ever, full of apologies, saying all the things you once wished they would say. I finally understand my mistakes. I don't want to lose you. I'll do whatever it takes to fix things. You mean everything to me, and I realize now that I took you for granted. They sound different. They seem sincere. It's as if they've undergone some miraculous transformation, suddenly becoming the partner, friend, or family member you always wanted them to be. But why now? Why, after all the pain they caused, after all the manipulation, are they suddenly acting like the person you always needed them to be? And more importantly, should you believe them? The harsh truth, they haven't changed. They've just lost control. A narcissist never returns because they love you. They return because they lost their grip on you. They return because they need something from you. Your emotional energy, your validation, your willingness to continue playing their game. When you left, you did something that terrified them. You took back your power. You stopped feeding their ego. You broke free from the role they assigned to you, the one where you existed to serve their needs, to absorb their moods, to cater to their endless hunger for attention. And that's the one thing a narcissist cannot tolerate, losing control. So they put on an act. They shapeshift into the exact version of themselves that you once fell for, not because they've changed, but because they know it's the most effective way to lure you back. Why do they suddenly act so perfect? A narcissist doesn't feel remorse the way a normal person does. They don't reflect on their mistakes and think, I hurt them and I need to do better. Instead, they think, I need to fix this situation, but only so I can regain control. They know that if they tried to come back as their usual manipulative self, you wouldn't accept them. So instead, they become what they think you want. They remind you of your happiest memories together. They say all the words you longed to hear during the relationship. They promise to change this time, for real. But there's one thing you must remember. If they had truly changed, you wouldn't have had to leave in the first place. People who genuinely change don't just do it because they got caught. They change because they recognize the harm they've caused and take real steps to become better, without needing to manipulate someone into staying. A narcissist, however, only changes when they feel like they are losing their source of power. How narcissists use hoovering to suck you back in this strategy is called hoovering, named after the vacuum cleaner, because a narcissist will try to suck you back into their control. And they do it with precision. They use nostalgia against you. Remember how amazing things were in the beginning? We were perfect together. They remind you of your happiest moments together, conveniently leaving out all the times they lied, manipulated, or hurt you. They play the "I've changed" card. I've been doing a lot of thinking. I see now what I did wrong. They might even say they've been reading self-help books, going to therapy, or having deep realizations about their mistakes. But ask yourself, why did it take losing you for them to suddenly understand their flaws? They pull at your empathy. I'm really struggling without you. I don't know how to go on. They make themselves sound like the victim, hoping to trigger your compassion and guilt. They rely on the fact that you're a good person who doesn't want to see them suffer. They make grand promises they'll never keep. This time will be different. I swear, I'll prove it to you. Maybe they suddenly want to move in together, get married, or start fresh. But think back, how many times have they promised change before, only to revert to their toxic ways? The cycle always repeats at first. It feels real. They're attentive, affectionate, and doing everything they should have done before. For a moment, you let yourself believe it, but then the mask slips. Slowly, they stop putting in effort. Slowly, their old behaviors creep back in. Slowly, they return to who they always were. Until one day you wake up and realize they were never going to change. They only did what was necessary to get you back. And now that they have you again, they no longer need to pretend. Because to them, it was never about love. It was about control. How to break the cycle and protect yourself when a narcissist suddenly returns acting perfect. You have to ask yourself one question. Do they truly want to fix what was broken, or do they just want to regain control? Because people who truly care about you don't need to lose you to appreciate you. They don't need to be caught to recognize their mistakes. They don't need to perform to prove their love. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." A narcissist's words are empty. Their apologies are strategic, and their promises are only as strong as their need to keep you under their influence. So the next time they come back, begging for another chance, remember, they didn't change, they just lost control. And that's not love, that's manipulation. 3. They become the helpless victim. Suddenly, they're no longer the cold, ruthless manipulator. Suddenly, they're the one who's hurting, the one who's suffering, the one who needs you more than ever. I can't live without you. How could you leave me when I needed you the most? You were the only one who ever truly understood me. Their voice trembles, their messages are filled with desperation and regret. For the first time in what feels like forever, they seem vulnerable. And if you've ever cared about them, if you've ever felt connected to them, their words hit you like a knife to the heart. Because despite everything, you don't want to see them in pain. And that's exactly what they're counting on. The harsh truth, they are not the victim, they just hate losing control. This is one of the most dangerous traps a narcissist sets. Because when they play the victim, they bypass logic and go straight for your emotions. They know that you have a good heart. They know that you don't want to see them suffer. They know that deep down, you once believed in them. And they will use that against you. Why do narcissists pretend to be the victim? A narcissist does not process emotions the way a healthy person does. They don't truly feel guilt, self-reflection, or accountability. Instead, they feel fear, anger, and the desperate need to maintain control. When they sense that they are losing you, they don't reflect on what they did wrong. They panic, because to a narcissist, losing control over you feels like an ego death, and they will do anything to avoid it. So, when manipulation and seduction fail, they switch tactics. Instead of being the dominant one, they now become the fragile, broken soul who has been wronged, because they know that when someone appears weak, it triggers a natural instinct in people to help. And for someone who has spent months, or even years, trying to fix them, trying to love them, trying to understand them, this tactic is devastatingly effective. How they manipulate you through guilt and sympathy. Narcissists know that not everyone is moved by anger or intimidation. Some people are more likely to give in out of guilt, responsibility, or compassion. And that's who this tactic is designed for. Instead of attacking you, they pull you in with sorrow. They rewrite history to make it seem like you abandoned them. They magnify every small hardship in their life to make you feel responsible. They tell exaggerated stories about how they're struggling without you. And the worst part, they mix just enough truth into their lies to make it believable. Maybe they really are struggling financially. Maybe they really do seem emotionally broken. Maybe they really are crying, unable to eat, unable to sleep. But what they don't tell you is that this is all a performance. They are not heartbroken. They are not helpless. They are strategizing because they know that if they can make you feel like you are the cause of their pain, you will come back, not out of love, but out of obligation. Real examples of the victim tactic, the health crisis excuse. I just found out I have a serious health condition. I don't know how to handle this alone. I haven't been eating or sleeping. I feel like I'm dying inside. Reality, they may exaggerate or invent health issues to make you feel guilty for leaving. The emotional breakdown, I don't want to live anymore. If you don't come back, I don't know what I'll do. Reality, this is emotional blackmail. They are weaponizing your compassion against you. The no one else understands me tactic, I pushed you away because I was scared. But I know now that you're the only one who ever truly cared. Reality, they are not admitting fault. They are using emotional flattery to pull you back in. The sudden life crisis. Everything in my life is falling apart. My job, my friendships, my family. I don't know who else to turn to. Reality, their life may indeed be falling apart, but that is not your responsibility. How to protect yourself from this manipulation. This is where many people get trapped, because the guilt is overwhelming. Because even if you know they are toxic, you still feel that tiny voice in your head whispering, but what if they really need me? What if this time is different? What if I'm making a mistake? But here's the truth. You are not responsible for fixing someone who refuses to fix themselves. You do not owe them your time, your energy, or your peace of mind just because they are struggling. Because if they truly wanted to change, they would have done so without needing to manipulate you into staying. The Stoic response, mastering emotional detachment. Epictetus once said, "Do not let others control your emotions." And this is the key to breaking free from the narcissist victim act, because they are not actually asking for help. They are demanding your surrender, but you have a choice. Recognize this for what it is, a trap. Refuse to let guilt dictate your decisions. Hold firm in your boundaries, even when they cry, beg, or plead. Their suffering is not your responsibility. Their pain is not your burden to carry. And when you finally accept that, you take away their greatest weapon. Because the moment they realize you are no longer controlled by guilt, they lose all power over you. And that is your victory. Final conclusion, true freedom lies in letting go and reclaiming your power. A narcissist will play every role necessary to keep you in their life. When dominance fails, they turn to manipulation. When manipulation fails, they turn to guilt. When guilt fails, they turn to desperation. But at the core of it all, it has never been about love, regret, or change. It has always been about control. And now, you see the truth. Their silence is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of a stronger, wiser, and more resilient version of you. Because the best revenge against a narcissist, it's not anger, it's not confrontation, it's not proving them wrong. It is living a life so full, so free, so untouchable, that they become nothing more than a distant memory. So the next time they come to you, broken and fragile, with tears in their eyes, pain in their voice, and promises on their lips, ask yourself, are they truly seeking healing? Or are they just trying to regain control? Because if they truly wanted to heal, they wouldn't need to manipulate you to do it. And that is the truth they never want you to realize. Your power lies in moving. Forward, you no longer need their validation. You no longer need to prove your worth. You no longer need to engage in their endless cycle of deception. Because they no longer have control over you. You have taken it back. If this message resonates with you, like this video, subscribe to Stoic Wisdom, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's continue to grow, heal, and build a life that no narcissist can ever diminish. Because the truth is, they lost the moment you chose yourself.